say so. Alright, stop kicking, whoever's kicking. Alright, so we went through 14 different lessons on what's inside a computer. We discussed everything from taking the case off, hard drives, RAM. What else did we discuss? Network interface cards, power supplies, wireless cards, RAID controllers.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh, you didn't hear that one? You missed that one? Video cards.
I heard that one.
Yeah. So we discussed all that stuff. We went through a bunch of different stuff
I
on.
want to do this one.
Okay, so what we'll do today, so today is just going to be where we're going to open up the computer. We're going to go ahead and have you take some stuff out, install some stuff, just so you can kind of get a feel of how things work. Since we went through all the lessons, we kind of showed you how to do all that stuff already. But today we'll kind of take some time, just go through and let you guys look at the inside. We'll talk about each little piece in there, and then we'll let you guys do it. So obviously you already figured out how to open up the case. We're just lifting that off, and that pops it open there.
Yeah!
Alright. So we've got a few different things going on the inside. Obviously we've talked about all this stuff already. We've got our power supply down here. Johnny, you need to sit down nice, please.
Okay.
So we've got our power supply down here. That gives power to the board, to the computer. Now remember, when we are working on the inside of the computer, sit down. We want to make sure we have
right here.
the power unplugged, right? We want to make sure there's no power running to this, because we don't want to be touching anything that's has electricity running through it. What happens if we touch something that has electricity running through it? Yeah, what, you get electrocuted? Yeah, so we need to be careful when we're playing around on the inside of the computer there. The main thing that we're looking for is we don't want to damage any of the inside components. You know, when we are in a room where the humidity is lower than 40%, you know, we're rubbing our feet on carpet, we're generating a static charge. So you know what happens when you touch something metal and you generate a static charge? You get a shock. Yeah, you get a shock. So if you have generating a static charge and you're sticking your hands inside these components here that are metal, what's going to happen? You're going to generate that static charge, and you're going to ruin your inside of your devices here.
I thought we were going to get
No, you wouldn't get electrocuted there. But that's why they have things that you can have anti-static mats that you set your computer on. They have wrist straps that you can ground yourself, so that way we're not running that risk of ruining the components. The biggest thing is all of these little things work together, and if we touch that with static electricity, we could actually ruin that device right there and make it no longer operable. So we need to be careful when we're working inside the computer there.
Hi.
So a few other things that we discussed inside of here, we've got, does anybody remember what this is in here? Where did it go? This right here, does anybody remember what that is?
No.
No, that's your CMOS battery.
I didn't do that one.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that one time. We might have missed that. We probably went over it pretty quick. It wasn't a full lesson. Yeah, that's CMOS. Yeah, let's sit down nicely, okay? So that battery here, Jonah, let's sit down. Audrey, sit down, please. Let's leave that one down. That's not part of what we're talking about today.
That's our shield.
Alright, so that CMOS battery, alright, so that's going to hold, let's sit down nice. Alright, so that's going to keep the CMOS chip charged. So when you shut down the computer and things like that, you still have stuff being stored on there with that battery. You've got your different slots in here. You can see your standard PCI slots, your PCIe slots. So you have a bunch of different types of slots that you can stick expansion stuff into. So we talked about putting network interface cards into those slots. You know, video cards go into there. There's a lot of different things that can go into those slots there. Up here, does anybody remember what this was? Anybody remember what that thing was up here?
No.
No. So that's our processor. Alright. So the processor for the computer, that's where that's stored here. And you can see we've got some fans in here. So the fans once again are doing what? Why do we have fans inside the computer?
To get the hot stuff up.
Yeah, that's right. To get the hot air out, we want to make sure we're blowing that hot air out of the side of the computer. We need to make sure we keep the computer as cool as possible, all right?
This is so long.
Yeah, let's sit down nice, okay?
So get the hot part out.
All right, so once again, this is your video card. So this is the NVIDIA card. So this is what gives you the graphics on your screen. You need to have a video card of some sort. Now this card here does have a built-in fan. So some of these devices will come with built-in fans there to cool themselves down. Now let's look at, see this once again, this is one that goes into one of our slots here. See how there's an opening in the back? So that's what we
And
do.
the other one.
Yeah, so we slide this in the slot. Hard to do from the side. And I have cords in the way. So these just slide in like this. Ugh. Sometimes these are difficult to get in. I got a cord in the way, that's why. Yeah, that's why. Whoa, be careful, buddy. Here, let me move it this way. I can't see very well.
Dad, you can't do
I
it.
can. It's
No,
just,
you can't.
it's hard to see from that side. I also need to get behind that piece too. Alright, so that just slides right into these little slots, there. Everything just kind of slides right in there.
Daddy, look. Daddy,
What, buddy?
Jensen punched my
See,
back.
that's how that goes in there. And then once it's inside,
Jensen punched
yeah,
my
okay, buddy. And then we clip these in place like this, so that way that locks in.
Daddy,
And then you can
come
take them back
get
out.
me.
So those are pretty easy to deal with. And once again, there's two different sides, so you can have it in two different slots, depending on what the configuration is there. Now this computer does have some things that pull out here to make things a little bit easier. So this is your DVD drive. So that just pops out like that. Pretty easy to get to there. A little bit more difficult to get back in. Well, it's not on right now, so there's really no hot parts on the computer.
How a person.
So I'm going to let you guys kind of take a look at this. We've kind of gone through most of the stuff inside the computer there without dismantling it completely. So I'll let you guys take a look at it. And if you have any questions, just let me know.